scene is set, everything's in readiness, 58 laps away. As we prepare for the next session in the ongoing case of the world versus Max Verstappen. Away we go for the Australian Grand Prix for 2024, and it's a great start for Verstappen. Goes hard right to cover his line into turn 1. Ferrari in front, lead change, and the Spaniard, fresh out of the operating theatre, leads the race. What a brave move by Carlos Sainz. The one we haven't seen any dramas from is Max. His car's looked solid as a rock until now.
Well, it's a lot of smoke coming out. I think we saw smoke coming out of the back of the car.
This is an enormous moment in the context of the race. Carlos Sainz is in front. Max Verstappen's Red Bull is ailing. Norris goes past. Leclerc goes past. Piastri goes past. Max Verstappen tumbling down the order. Verstappen is out of the Australian Grand Prix.
Yeah, I've had an engine failure.
Oh no, Lewis, out of the Grand Prix.
Engine failure.
This ultra-reliable Mercedes is out of the race and limping. Carlos Sainz leads the race with the margin 1.3 seconds, and Charles Leclerc has very much found the hard tyre to his liking. Oscar Piastri is third, McLaren. The two Ferraris quicker than anybody still, and the radio call has gone out to Oscar Piastri to let Lando go by. Lando's got the quicker car at the moment. They need to maximise the track position. It's McLaren chasing Ferrari here at Albert Park.
Carlos Sainz at the front now going, my tyres are starting to become a problem. He can see the gap getting smaller between himself and Charles Leclerc right behind it, but I think he's got this.
Oh, a big crash. George Russell's had an enormous one on the final lap of the Grand Prix. They've gone virtual safety car. That's the race. And Carlos Sainz in a Ferrari mad city, from the operating theatre to the biggest theatre in motorsport, he wins his third Grand Prix. What a comeback that's been for the Spaniard.
This is amazing. Thank you guys. Thank you. Unbelievable.
John.
Like it's a roller coaster.
Incredible race, and of course this was the moment that changed everything. Have a look.
Rip-offs. It's all over for Max.
He's out. Now, Max Verstappen is out of the Australian Grand Prix, and the streak ends at 9 in a row.
This was supposed to be his 10th consecutive win, Max Verstappen, but he had to limp back to the pit lanes in lap 5 after his brakes caught fire.
I know. Watching that, though, it must be such a bummer when you've got to slow the car down and everybody's passing you. As I was watching, I was like, that's what would happen if you put me in the car and sent me out there to do the Grand Prix. You'd just be like, sorry, guys, I'll get to it eventually. Don't worry, I'll manners on the track.
Yeah, this mechanic's going to cost me a fortune. What's the point of this?
It's kind of like why we love Formula One, right? Fortunes can change on a dime. A huge win from Carlos Sainz. This is a man who just 2 weeks ago, he had his appendix out.
I know. Aren't you allowed to drive after that?
He did well. And what is quite amazing, it's quite an up yours to Ferrari, because Ferrari's dumped him for Lewis Hamilton next year. He's currently off contract.
I don't know how it works, but could they change their mind?
They could do. I don't know. No,
This could be a great way.
Deft contract work, I would suspect.
I mean, I could step in and do a little negotiation if you needed some help.
Let's get Corby on board. Hometown boy Oscar Piastri came fourth. So close to the podium finish. This was him after the race.
Yeah, pretty happy with that. Obviously, would have preferred to be one more spot up, but that's okay. Yeah, Lando deserved it today, and was awesome to see so many McLaren fans and Oscar fans in the stands. So, yeah, thanks for a great week.
I know Carlos got his appendix out, but Oscar just got his pubes. So that is really impressive.
What would it be like when you're in the race and you have to let your teammate go by?
There was quite a bit of controversy about that, because it was his race.
Yeah.
And it would have been great to see him do it in Australia.
That must have been a bummer.
A tough race as well for Daniel Ricciardo. He came in 12th. He looked gutted in his post-race interview.
Yesterday sucks for sure, and even today, like, I would have loved to have been in the points, but the weekend as a whole has been really good, and I got nothing to be upset about.
Even a downbeat Daniel Ricciardo seems kind of cheery.
Yeah.
He's such a happy chap.
Yeah.
Anyway, but it is disappointing for him.
Yeah, for sure.
We know that Formula One, Their cars go really, really fast, faster than my Suzuki, that's for sure. But it's really hard to understand just how fast they go. Like Max Verstappen in his qualifying lap yesterday, this is driver cam. I mean, they do 58 laps, right? He set a new record at the track yesterday. He averaged 250 kilometres an hour. And you forget how intensely physical it is to drive Formula One.
That's why I can't believe about coming back from the appendix operation.
I know.
Like when you read about the pressure it puts on their body and their neck and everything.
Yeah,
Imagine
5.5
having,
Gs.
Nursing a recovering bit of wound.
Yeah, and a loss of fluid. Like they go through a lot of fluid. Imagine the demerit points you also lose. Yeah. And it's a 40K zone.
Camelback in those things?
Camelback?
That makes sense. I suspect they have a
They'd have to have some kind of
system.
something like that. I mean, maybe not the old school camelback like they're hiking a mountain, but something similar.
It might be slightly high grade, I reckon, Corey. Yeah.
So it's a big day on the track, and Drive to Survive star Gunther Steiner will be giving us the full Formula One wrap a little later in the show.
Love swearing, Gunther Steiner.
Oh, we love
it.
Got
the beep button ready.
A huge dump button.